This is Nasha Kasha Ukrainian Almanac, 28 minutes of stories for everyone about Ukrainian life. Nasha Kasha is heard on 15 campus and community radio stations from Newfoundland to British Columbia. Vitayu, welcome. My name is Stefan Andrusiak. This is episode 166.
40 minutes? Okay,
We are backstage at the Capital Ukrainian Festival in Ottawa. A singer simply known as Rossa and a bandura player and singer named Marina Krut are waiting to begin their set. This afternoon, their performance has been delayed. A heavy mid-July downpour has put the program on pause. In the interim, the audience escaped to a large tent beyond the concert seating area. The program does resume. Rossa and Marina are very well received.
Просимо.
Добрий день, мене звати Марина Крут.
Marina Krut from Ukraine is only 23.
Інструмент, який має назву бандура. І зараз мені 23, і я все ще продовжую.
She's played bandura for most of her life.
Я називаюся Rossa. I grew up on Ukrainian music with my father and my mom singing at dinner parties. My dad would play accordion. We would sing Ukrainian songs and my brother would join in. This was in Edmonton, Alberta, where I grew up. My brother and I, we were in choir as well, so we sang harmonies together, and my parents would often encourage us to perform. So my mother was born in Edmonton, but my father was born in Laza. It's just outside the border of Ukraine on the Polish side. He came to Canada in his early 20s, and then my mother's roots are Ukrainian as well. Her grandmother was born in grandparents were born in Ukraine.
Власне, я не маю нікого у Канаді, окрім Оресі, окрім моєї подруги Оресі. І
Marina's roots can be traced back to her grandparents' village,
дуже прості сільські люди. Вони народилися.
where her mother grew up. Her mother would move to a city called Khmelnytsky.
Моя мама, власне, тільки переїхала до рідного міста, який має назву Хмельницький.
She herself was born in Khmelnytsky.
І, власне, там народилась я.
Khmelnytsky is 250 kilometers from the city of Lviv in western Ukraine.
Тобто ми можемо говорити, що це Західна Україна. Ближче до Західної – центральної України, щось поміж посередині.
She has one sister. Her parents were not musicians, but loved music.
Добре співає, а мій тато грає на гітарі, дуже аматорськи, все абсолютно. Мама співає тільки тоді, коли миє посуду, власне, коли миє посуд. Але так сталося, що нікого не було музикантів в сім'ї, але я мала велике...
She first heard about the bandura in her grandparents' village. It was at a community
Першого
center.
разу я почула цей інструмент.
She was 8 years old at the time.
Чи 8.
And Marina says the instrument entered into her subconscious.
Я почула там дівчину, яка грала на Івана Купала, вона грала народну пісню. І я думаю, що це, в принципі, мені заклалось всередину.
Within a year, I was playing.
Рік я почала грати на цьому інструменті.
Both my parents, apparently I was singing before, I don't know, they said I was singing before I was speaking. My dad was in choir and he was doing vocal warm-ups, and apparently I was trying to mimic him as a baby. I took piano first, classical piano, for about 8 or 9 years, and then I fell in love with the guitar. I started writing on guitar when I was 16, and I fell in love with it.
Я почала навчання, коли мені було 8. Я пішла до музичної школи і захотіла грати на цьому інструменті, власне, але я думала, що я
She met her music teacher when she was 8 years old, and she asked her if she could learn to play the harp. That's what she thought she saw in the village. They told her, well, we have no harps here, but here's a bandura. And she said, seeing it, oh, that's the instrument I saw.
яка зробила дуже багато бандуристів, які є зараз концертуючих на Україні. Це
Her teacher was famous for producing banduras players who perform on a very high
Її звати
level.
ковбасіста Марія Омелянівна.
Her name, Maria Kubasista.
І так.
I mean, I took classical piano, but for guitar, I was self-taught, and the piano background really helped me. And I think because I took classical piano, it was very structured, and I didn't feel very creative to express on it. But when I had the guitar, I felt like I could play around with it, and I started really developing and writing songs.
When did reggae enter into your repertoire?
Oh, well, I always loved Bob Marley and Marcia Griffiths, but I also loved a lot of blues and soul, Etta James, Jimi Hendrix, Led Zeppelin and stuff like that. When I was like starting to play, I was doing a lot of those kind of covers. And then I traveled to California in my late teens, and I totally fell in love with reggae. I stumbled stumbled across this actually 3-day reggae festival, and somebody gave me a ticket. And I didn't really know that much about reggae, and it was 3 days full on just reggae music, and that entered my soul, and it captivated me, and I started writing in reggae after that. And the more I listened to it, the more I actually loved it more.
Rossa, Gerald Thomas. Your eyes, your smile, your style, yeah. Think I'm gonna stay a little longer.
В вашому окруженні на Україні чи регgae, рокстері були популярні жанри музики?
У нас, напевно, більше рок популярний в Україні, ніж регі. Ми маємо не так багато, в принципі, регі-сцени, не так багато регі-індустрії.
Marina says that rock is more popular in Ukraine than the genre that is reggae.
Це українська культура, власне, та через те в нас немає інтегровано багато цього.
We have a few reggae artists in Ukraine, but they're not integrated into our general music scene.
Ми всі любимо і поважаємо.
We love it, we respect it, and we love to dance to reggae.
Your eyes, your smile, your style, yeah. Think I'm gonna stay a little longer. Each day, the feeling getting stronger.
Your eyes, your vibe, your mind. Yeah. Each day we spend the feeling getting stronger. I think I'm gonna stay a little longer.
Я виросла на класичній музиці.
I grew up with classical music.
Але одного часу у мене стався перелом.
I was 15 when jazz entered my
Мені
life.
було 15, і в моє життя прийшов джаз.
Last night you woke me up. The sleep was sleep. The soul was sleeping out. It's even waiting for something to come. Last night I woke you up. Looking at you is endless eyes. By didn't I know you wanted to hear my songs, my songs.
І після того я зрозуміла, що
And so it was that I realized I wanted to sing jazz or soul or something in between.
альбом, і я надію, що наступні роботи це буде більше world music.
My next projects will probably involve world music.
Повертаюсь до свого коріння, мені
Just as Orysia returns to her roots, I'm interested in broadly based, very deep world music.
музика різних.
With world music, I try to dig deeper than pop music, especially the pop music that they feed us at home in Ukraine.
Насправді, я думаю, що паттерни в музиці,
Classical, reggae, pop, rock, there's a common pattern to them.
музиці і в поп, і в рок, і в джаз. Там ми маємо стандартні паттерни.
I try to find this pattern
Власне, по цим
to
паттернам
create something authentic of my own
є автентичне, знайти свою ідентичність у музиці.
through my musical instrument, the bandura.
My songs.
How did you come to bring your reggae style to Ukraine?
Ти признайся мені, звідки в тебе ті чари.
I went to a family reunion a couple years ago, and it really was heartwarming and touching to meet some of my family and discover some of my roots. So I decided I really, really want to come back and record an album in Ukraine. I got introduced through the internet through Marina and some other fantastic musicians out there that were already playing some reggae. It was a great opportunity, so I jumped on it.
Червону руту не шукай вечорами. Ти у мене єдиний, тільки ти повір. Бо твоя врода, то є чистая вода, то є бистрая вода, синий хвиль. Бачу я тебе в снах, у дібровах зелених.
just to be there and have that tangibility of being in Ukraine and experiencing and living the culture and breathing the air and tasting the different food and also the musicians as well.
Це було дуже фантастично.
It was fantastic that Orysia came to Ukraine. It's Orysia's story that really teaches me something.
У неї, в принципі, не є такий величезний бекграунд український. Тобто вона не народилась в Україні.
She wasn't born in Ukraine, nor was her mother born in Ukraine.
І з таким коліном робити музику і повертатися, власне, до цієї.
She came there, she returned to those roots, to those beginnings.
Ототожнення того, щоб пізнати себе насправді, розкрити себе і зрозуміти, хто ти є.
It is the essence of recognizing who you yourself are.
Спочатку я думала, що насправді цей альбом.
At first I thought, well, she could have recorded this album, this Ukrainian album in Canada.
Мені не вистачає України. І наскільки сильно
But I know now that I can't get enough of Ukraine when I'm away from it.
до Канади, перші 15 хвилин я відчувала просто повітря цієї
When I
країни.
came to Canada for the first time, for the first 15 minutes, I literally breathed Canada in.
Власне, коли ця музика проходить крізь повітря цієї
When
країни,
music passes through the air of a country, that is when you truly create the best work. Now that you've collaborated, are you going your separate ways? Will you continue to play together?
Now that we've made the connection and we have played together, I think we can build on that. I know definitely I will be back in Ukraine, and I'm sure Marina will come back to Canada.
Marina is also working on an album.
це буде EP, то буде маленький альбом.
It'll be an extended play. It'll be experimental. It'll be her third step along the way to finding her ideal sound.
Того ж самого пошуку ідеального звуку.
The album is in progress, Corinha, and it will be out probably at the end of September, beginning of October. So keep posted on social media, oresha.com, Facebook, Instagram, and there's Czerwona Ruta already out on YouTube, Spotify, and everywhere.
Дуже гарно було вас запізнати. Always good to see you.
Yes, thank you very much. Дуже дякуємо.
Дякую дуже.
Weaving through the hands of time, strength that stood before me, echoing sounds of freedom, wind that sings the story, sending shivers right through me. Going back to my roots, 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 raíces. 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 Travel through the world, yet so many places left to see. All I gotta do is turn around so I can see what's in front of me. 'Cause some people move so far, yet they don't know where they're going. But I know where I am, walking along with my roots all showing.
Nasha Kasha comes to you every week from CHRW 94.9 FM on the campus of Western University in London, Ontario. We're also heard on CHMR 93.5 FM in St. John's, Newfoundland, on CKDU 88.1 FM in Halifax, on Local 107.3 FM in St. John, New Brunswick, on CJAS Radio 93.5 FM in St. Augustine, Quebec, on CJLO 1690 AM in Montreal, on CFRC 101.9 FM in Kingston, on CFMU 93.3 FM in Hamilton, on CKMS 102.7 FM in Kitchener-Waterloo, on CKLU 96.7 FM in Sudbury, on CILU 102.7 FM in Thunder Bay, on 101.5 UMFM in Winnipeg, on CFMQ 98.1 FM in Hudson Bay, Saskatchewan, on CFBX 92.5 FM, The X in Kamloops, and on CIVL 101.7 FM in Abbotsford, British Columbia.
Rossa. Thank you, W.
In Montreal's East End, Parc Beaubien on the last day of July resounds with dog park greetings, squeaky sneakers, bouncing tennis balls. In September, music will dominate where Beaubien and 9th Avenue intersect, and the Montreal Ukrainian Festival returns. 2 blocks to the east at the Ukrainian Youth Association Hall, I meet with 2 members of the trio Rossa.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Hi, Natalia.
Приємно.
Hi, my name's Natalia Bedik, and I'm part of Rossa.
What do you sing in Rossa? Which voice?
I mostly sing alto, but we switch around all the time, depending on, sometimes I'd like to sing soprano, depending on what song we're singing.
Hi, my name is Sonia Kulecka, and I'm a member of Rossa, and I usually sing soprano, but like Natalia said, we tend to switch around to keep our range as optimal as possible.
We're sitting in the Sumiuska Dumilka in Montreal. Can you tell me about your roots, your upbringing?
I went to Ukrainian school in Montreal. I graduated from Ukrainian school. I've lived my whole life in Montreal. I love Montreal. I have a younger brother. He's 5 years younger than I, but we're very close. You know, I went through 11 years of Ukrainian school and I graduated successfully, and I'm proud of myself for giving up those Saturday mornings to be.
Yeah, I think I saw you wince a little bit when you were talking.
There's good memories too, for sure.
How about yourself?
I'm born and raised in Montreal, so are my parents. I also graduated from the same Ukrainian school as her. That's where we became friends, and we started singing actually in Ukrainian school. Her mother was our Ukrainian school singing coach, and she kind of picked us out from the kids in the class and formed this little group of about seven girls. And then over the years, it became 4 of us, and then we were...
Did you uninvite them?
Well, some just lost interest over the years. Some people just didn't want to perform on stage as much as we did. So.
Why the name Rossa? How did that come about?
We came up with it because we wanted something that was unique, and I think Rossa kind of stands for nature and freshness, if you will.
What does the word mean?
Yeah, it means the dew, direct translation, but it means that we're fresh, we're new. We'll take some older songs that her mother kindly picks up for us. Sometimes we choose our own, but when it comes to these really vintage Ukrainian songs, we would never find them without her. And then we kind of put a little bit of our own twist on it.
Should I have been interviewing your mother? I mean, is she kind of the background?
She definitely found us, if you will. We were best friends in kindergarten at Ukrainian school, and then she just kind of noticed, all of them can kind of sing. Let's start something. But then really we've taken it to this point ourselves with a lot of help from all of our parents, of course, but I think we really chose to pursue it because we just love singing, we love performing together, and so it's definitely our parents that kind of formed it and made it happen, but I'd say we put in a lot of work as well to get where we are today.
How do you know you're good enough to perform?
Well, at first, we only performed at Ukrainian school events where everyone at Ukrainian school performs. So I think there were no requirements for that kind of performance. But
Was it a tough audience singing in front of the other kids?
oh, definitely a very tough audience. Once we got older, people reached out to us to perform. So we just went with it, and we started choosing our own songs, coming up with new things ourselves, and that's when we kind of really became Rossa.
Can you give me just a little bit of a rundown of your history?
I think officially as a trio, because, as Natalia said, we started off as 7 girls, but that was when we were in Ukrainian school. After we branched out, we started performing at the Montreal Ukrainian Festival for sure. Then we went to the Toronto Ukrainian Festival. We won Best Performance in the youth category the first year we were there. We've sung in Albany, Yonkers, New York. We've sung at weddings. We were part of the documentary called Spivanka, produced by Heart and Soul Media. We've also come out with our CD. We've performed also in the English community as well. We've performed at hockey games like Ukrainian hockey tournaments, singing the anthems, things like that.
What are your personal aspirations aside from Rossa? What's your education, and what is the guiding path you're following?
I went to Toronto for 4 months to do an acting program. It was Toronto Academy for Acting, Film, and Television. It was just a 4-month intensive program. And I did get my first role recently. It's in a movie called Death of a Ladies' Man. It's a small role. When it comes to school, I am going to Concordia this fall, and I can use those courses towards a bachelor's degree once I decide what I want to do.
And yourself?
Right now I'm studying at McGill University. I just finished my 2nd year in nursing. I want to pursue a career in healthcare and further my education through postgraduate studies afterwards.
And will you try and keep Rossa going throughout your studies and your future?
Well, I feel like the thing that drives us the most is our love for singing and performing, and the fact that we're best friends. And I think that as long as we want to keep singing and performing, as long as that's what makes us happy, then for sure. Our friend Nina recently joined the group, and we had our first performance with her in Yonkers. And, by the way, her grandfather was Cecil Simchishin, a very famous opera singer in Winnipeg. And we had never performed live together, but it went really, really well. And we honestly had such good chemistry, such a good dynamic, and a friendship that has come out of it. We did come out with a CD, our first CD in 2015, but it's also available on Apple Music, iTunes, Spotify, you name it, on all the music platforms online.
Any final thought that you'd like to leave?
I think that you should never, ever let anybody's negativity and, ill wishes or whatever issues they're going through in their lives bring you down and hold you back.
It's a lot of work, and it's so much fun. If you're passionate about it, it won't really feel like work, but you do have to realize that you need to make a lot of time for that passion if you really want to go for it.
Мамко моя, не лай мені, мамко моя, не лай мені. Гей, залаяш ми в злу годину, залаяш ми в злу годину. Сам не знаю, де погину.
What is it that people remember about Rossa when they leave a concert?
I think we like to take some songs that everyone knows and some songs that maybe you wouldn't know, and we like to add unique harmonies to them. When people hear us, they just remember, oh, like they really did something different there with that song.
Хто ж ми буде брати яму? Хто ж ми буде жаль ти, мамко, буде, сине, жаль ти, мамко, буде. Ой, як же мені, синку, не жаль, як же мені, синку, не жаль. Ти на моїм серцю лежав, ти на моїм серцю лежав.
Partial funding for Nasha Kasha comes from the Shevchenko Foundation and the Ukrainian Credit Union. Nasha Kasha is also a podcast. If you like Nasha Kasha, please rate us on Apple iTunes. Back in a week, God willing. До милої зустрічі за тиждень часу, дорогі слухачі.